Welcome to thegreatgroony.com. We heard our finance minister's budget speech where she gave us a precise estimate that our country is growing at 8.5% growth rate, that she's going to spend 3.5 lakh crore on the growth of major sectors of the economy, and that third, that the government's expenditure will continue to be more than its revenue to the tune of 6.8%. All in all, a good budget that doesn't increase our taxes at all. Yes, cryptocurrencies will be taxed at 30% and will soon have a made in India cryptocurrency as well. If you have money in post office, you will soon be able to see it on the mobile. Last but not the least, the finance minister wants us to wear more diamonds and less imitation jewelry. But imagine if a speech read out like this. Our government's focus has been on the infrastructure sector. Hence, we cannot spend more money on the railways this year. No new trains can be launched. Another sector is the healthcare sector. Therefore, because of the pandemic, we cannot spend more on the education sector. Hence, no pay hike for the teachers this year. It's unlikely that she's going to make that statement because she spends nearly 4 months meeting various government ministries and industry bodies to understand their expenditure plans. And that's how she arrives at a budget that tells us where the government is going to spend and how the government is going to fund those expenditure. After all, budgeting, whether at country level or a personal level, is all about productive allocation of our money, is all about telling our money where to go. In reality, we all get stressed out at the thought of having a personal budget. Budget? That's not for me. I'm not living hand to mouth that I need to count each and every expense that I make. Budgeting is for those whose income is this much and expenses are always more. And I had to save so much during the pandemic that I can go on a 3-month unpaid leave to Goa. What budgeting you're talking about? We all know that we saw a forceful reduction of our expenses during pandemic and our life continued like this. Still, the thought of a budget sends signals to our brain that our money is getting scarce or that I have to cut down on certain expenses. That's why psychologists suggest that families can adopt approach of a spending plan which focuses on the savings for your goals instead of worrying about what expenses do we need to cut down upon. Taking a cue from a finance minister's budget making activity, I suggest every family should adopt a spending plan approach. Here are the 5 tips to start a spending plan. First, invite all family members to list out their expenses or goals for the next 1 month or the next 1 to 3 month period. Second, ask them to make a visual impression of it so that they can see it on daily basis, whether it's a desktop or a fridge magnet or a whiteboard in the house. So the visuals of that goal is visible to everyone at all the times. Third, list down your income sources and savings and allocate that money towards the expenses head. You can follow a 50-30-20 rule whereby 50% of your income goes towards necessary expenditure, 30% towards discretionary and 20% towards these saving goals that you see every day. That's where the magic can begin. You might feel motivated to cut down that 30% expense and spend or save more towards the 20% of the goal, 20% of the goal that you always see. This really works. Follow it for a month and then you'll be motivated to follow it for another month. If you have young earning members in the family, you can ask them to pick up one expense tab so that they also become mindful spenders. Last but not least, if still that this spending still remains out of control for you, then go for the extremes. cut cut down the credit card, or follow a cash envelope system wherein you put in a certain amount of money for an expense head and don't go beyond, and use only cash for that expense. So when the cash is getting over, you will realize that, oh, I need to spend less. These are some of the tips which have been shared by the budget savvy Groonies. Bhuvana Sriram, a certified financial planner and a disciplined budgeter, shared her amazing tips on our website, thegreatrooney.com. Archana Kulkarni has been writing down her expenses for last 15 years. All these amazing tips are there on our website. The country is running on a budget, so nothing stops you from running a household on a budget. On a spending plan. See you there.